going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Crazy Panda, we got Malls, we got Spida, we got Dutchy, we got Randall, we got Luke. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for joining in today. We're going to talk about something that, for some reason, I'm seeing at least several different comments. And I don't know if people quite 100% know why the Cardinals ended up going after a quarterback. I mean, to me, it's obvious as to why they ended up signing Jacoby Brissett, or actually even just thinking about going after a quarterback in free agency. We've been talking about it for probably since we got swept from the Seattle Seahawks, that the Arizona Cardinals need to find a way to bring in a suitable backup quarterback, either through the draft or free agency. But that's what we're going to be diving into today. We're going to be talking about why the Arizona Cardinals went after a quarterback. And we're also going to be talking about the negative stuff that comes along with obviously bringing in a very suitable backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. But before we get started, do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen, smack up the like button, subscribe up to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for joining in here. We are going to have a good, fun-filled show, all surrounding the thoughts of why did the Cardinals go after Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback in free agency? Now, let's dive right into it, right? The biggest thing that I'm seeing out there right now, and it's not just the fact that I guess the biggest knock on why people are upset that we ended up going after a backup quarterback. It's not to protect Kyler. No, it seems like what people are saying out there, or at least some certain fans, is why do we have to bring a backup quarterback? Like, why do we have to bring a backup quarterback when Kyler Murray is going into his seventh year, right? That seems to be what people are upset of, right? Like having to bring a veteran in like a Jacoby Brissett to back up Kyler Murray? Well, I mean, if you're a Cardinal fan, let me answer that for you right now. Since the moment that we've been swept by the Seattle Seahawks this last year, in 2024, I've always mentioned that the Cardinals need to have a backup quarterback that's suitable to get you win you a game or two. Right now, we've been very fortunate. The fact that Kyler Murray was able to stay healthy in 2024. Now, use it on, I guess you could blame that on, Drew Petzing's offense being more of a run heavy, being the fact that Kyler Murray does not have to be Superman every single play. All those type of plays that he's doing, all the running around back there, extending plays, it takes a toll on your body, right? Especially when you only have 60 minutes to play in a game, right? You're running around, running, 15, 30 miles back and forth, sideline to sideline to try to find an open wide receiver or open weapon. You're going to get tired, right? So Kyler Murray was able to stay healthy, but let's not forget that Kyler Murray has been dealing with a slew of a lot of different injuries throughout his tenure of being an Arizona Cardinal quarterback, right? So he's had injuries almost every year. Now, he hasn't missed a game every single year, but, he's had some injuries that were kind of like, oh, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And, of course, we all know what happened when he ended up going through that terrible injury versus the Patriots at the end of the season. I believe it was the 2022 season, if I can remember correctly. And obviously, we know exactly what happened there, right? So the big question is to why do we have to bring a quarterback to back up Kyler? Well, like I said before, if you're a Cardinal fan, you want to have a quarterback that's going to push the current quarterback situation. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, here we go. This is the quarterback controversy that we all needed, right? This is the quarterback controversy. No, I think that when you're realistically looking at bringing in Jacoby Brissett, he's nothing more than he's going to be a backup quarterback to Kyler Murray, right? Like that is seeming to be the plan. I don't think we're going to see some crazy headlines out there, or actually not coming from me anyways, but you probably already seeing people saying this is why Jacoby Brissett should start over Kyler. No, I'm not going to say that, but this is a very suitable backup quarterback in case something goes wild, right? Something and something happen, like in case something happens in 2025, if Kyler Murray needs to miss a game or two, I'm very confident that Jacoby can definitely win you a game or two if needed, right? So that's one of the main reasons as to why I'm actually 110% on board with the signing of Jacoby Brissett, because we've been rolling with Clayton Tune as the backup quarterback for what seems like 2 years now. When Josh Dobbs ended up starting over Clayton Tune, and when Kyler Murray came back fully healthy, Clayton Tune was the backup quarterback. And although we're hearing high praises from Jonathan Gannon, let's call it like it is. I mean, you and here's the thing. I'm not saying he's not a suitable backup quarterback, but bring in a guy that can actually do it and that we've seen can win in the NFL. I'm cool with the whole Jacoby Brissett thing. Now, I want to go ahead and actually shine some light here. Now, he did meet with the media. I believe it was last week. If not last week, then it was the week prior. But he ended up meeting with the Arizona Cardinals media, and they ended up asking him some questions. Now, there was a question here that anytime there's a quarterback being brought, it's not funny, but it's important to note that everybody always has to ask, well, what can you do for Kyler, right? What can you do for Kyler as a resource, right? And it's kind of interesting to hear what Jacoby Brissett had to say about what he can do as or how he could be used as a resource for Kyler. And this is the way that he answered it in the media press conference with the Arizona Cardinals. Let's check it out.
Resource do you think you can be for Kyler at this point in his career?
I think I got to figure that out as we go. Obviously he's been a good player in this league for a long time. I've watched him a lot. Obviously with him playing against a lot of teams that we've gone against, and and just here to figure that out myself.
So as you can tell, Jacoby Brissett, I mean, he's going to learn it on the job, right? I don't think he was actually told from the jump, like, okay, hey, this is what you're going to do. But as a backup quarterback, your role is to basically be ready whenever your name is called upon, right? But as long as Kyler can stay healthy, he's probably not going to be called upon very often. And that's fine. I don't think at this point in Jacoby Brissett's career, he's probably looking into just finding a spot that he's absolutely confident and happy with being, right? In the same press conference, he actually has a really close relationship with Drew Petzing. And if you didn't know that, he says that in this in this press conference here in the Arizona Cardinals YouTube page, the fact that he's got a close relationship with a couple people in his coaching staff, and he actually couldn't speak to some of his close friends because obviously during the tampering period, you need to be very, very buttoned up, right? Buttoned up to the fact that, hey, you can't speak to any other organizations. Although they might be talking about something else completely unrelated to football, it can kind of be seen as tampering. But bringing in Jacoby Brissett, as a player in the NFL, if you think that, you stop learning at any time, then you're never going to grow. You're never going to grow with anything. So can Jacoby Brissett bring in some sort of can he bring in something to Kyler Murray's game? Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Now, what is that? We don't know yet. And I don't think he 100% knows yet, right? What the role is as a backup quarterback, because let's call it like it is. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to beat out Kyler Murray in training camp, right? But we have somebody that can win you a game or two if Kyler Murray needs to sit out because of an injury. And I think this is an absolute no-brainer move for the Arizona Cardinals. And like I said, I made this something where I made this a point that the Cardinals absolutely need. They need to go after a backup quarterback in this year's offseason. I made it a point. The moment that we got swept away, we got swept from the Seattle Seahawks, I made it a point that we need to go after a backup quarterback because right now it's Kyler Murray or I'm sorry, not right now, but in 2024 it was Kyler Murray or bust. Like there was no other options. Where you're going to throw Clayton Tune in there, and for the most part, we haven't really seen what he can do. So there's a lot of unknown when it comes down to Clayton Tune. Now, the bad stigma around Clayton Tune that he's a terrible quarterback and he's this, and that, is it 100% his fault? No, it's not. Can he still get an opportunity and prove people wrong? Yeah, he still can. But it's unfortunate the way that the NFL works, right? Because when you have such a terrible performance in the Cleveland game, the first time he had his start, and it was historically bad numbers. Now, it's not 100% his fault, right? He was thrown into the wolves. He was thrown into the fire. It's not his fault, but that's the way the NFL is, right? It's not for longling. That's what people call it. But Jacoby Brissett is a solid backup choice that the Arizona Cardinals can look for in case things hit the fan, right? Things hit the fan. So honestly, I'm not mad at this move. I'm really not. I get where Cardinal fans are coming from, those specific ones that are coming out here saying that, oh, at this point in Kyler Murray's career, he doesn't need to, have a backup quarterback as a veteran back there. Why not? Why not? Every guy, every player has a backup quarterback that can win you a game or two in case, or at least that should be the plan for this front office to go into the season saying, okay, I feel a little bit more confident with the quarterback room, right? Because with what we saw in 2024, the moment that the Arizona Cardinals were finishing off 2-5 after the bye week, which is not something that just happened in 2024. This is the stigma around the Kyler Murray era, and we can't use the Cliff Kingsbury era anymore because we're already seeing Cliff Kingsbury's offense flourish with the Commanders, but with what we're seeing under the Kyler Murray era is that we're crashing and burning at the end of the season. We start off really good. We start off like, oh man, MVP talks? What's happening? What? But then it starts crashing at the end of the season. We don't 100% know exactly what it is. We don't know if the defensive coordinators are, just kind of adjusting. We don't know if, the long season is taking a toll on the body of Kyler. We don't know if the decision making is just kind of getting blurry at the end of the season. We don't know if the dog days are just starting to get to. We don't know. We don't know exactly 100% what it is, but this year heading into 2025 is a massive year for Kyler Murray. It's massive, right? Although we've seen, or at least we've seen we don't 100% know if it's a contract or contract restructure, or if this was always the contract for Kyler Murray that, it kind of turned into a guaranteed salary at 2026. I think there was a restructure. I do think there was some sort of restructure if you're going to ask me, but we don't 100%, we're not privy, right? All we can see is what's happening on Over the Cap. All we can see is what's happening on, Spot Track in terms of the contracts that are there. But they put out what's reported. Do they have any insight? They probably do. They probably have some inside information as well, but what they see is probably what we see. And with what we knew in the 2024 season, Kyler Murray did not have any guaranteed salary in 2026. It stopped at 2025. And then when Tom Pelissero put that tweet out there saying, oh, guaranteed salary, right? The moment that we hit this month or this day in free agency or this day in March, now he has guaranteed salary. And that's like, wait, what happened? Wow. Like, what's going on? Right? That's where we all started kind of asking questions. Well, what happened? Well, it's not a bad thing that the Cardinals ended up doing that, right? It opened up some more cap space. Kyler Murray didn't take a pay cut. He still gets his money, right? Whether it's front loaded, whether it's back loaded, whether it's guaranteed salary, he still gets his money regardless, right? But at the end of the day here, the Arizona Cardinals made the absolute right decision. As Monty Ossenfort said when he actually signed this contract to be the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, he said his job is to find everybody's replacement in this locker room. That's what he said. His job is to find the replacement of everybody in this locker room. And he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. And I don't fault him. I think this is a brilliant move by the Cardinals. Every single year that Monty Ossenfort's been the general manager of the Cardinals, we have brought in a quarterback. Every single year. Every single year, Monty has been the general manager of the Cardinals. We've brought in a quarterback in. And I love it. I love it. Bring in competition. Bring in a fresh eyes, right? Whether it's a veteran, whether it's you draft a quarterback. I love what Monty and this new front office is doing because they're seeing what the fans are seeing, right? So I'm mad at it. Now, let's also address what Jacoby Brissett had to say about the free agency situation, right? Because he was asked about free agency. How does it work for him, or how did it work specifically for him? And this is what Jacoby Brissett had to say about the free agency situation and how it all unfolded.
Yeah, I think when the legal period opened up, obviously, Israel called me and Drew called me. Drew didn't call me. Iz called me. We were talking about golf because he was talking about something about playing. And then I was like, what are y'all doing over there? And he goes, I can't talk to you about that. And then I was like, well, then the period opened up, and then the Cardinals called me, and I was like, man, I've wanted to be here, be back with Drew and be with Israel. It was kind of fast for me once I knew.
Did they talk to you at all a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think when I was leaving Washington, we've had conversations before.
So we've had conversations before, right? When he was leaving Washington, he said with Jacoby Brissett to try to bring him in. So it's not like one of these things where like, oh, we're just gonna, bring in somebody here random. No, there's links to Jacoby Brissett, and obviously, a few people on this coaching staff, Drew Petzing being one of them. And when he was asked about Drew Petzing, nothing but glowing remarks. Nothing but glowing remarks about, obviously, he's excited to see the evolution of, the things that Drew Petzing can do, right? With having all these people open with just different, formations, different things that he does on the offensive side of the ball. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of people within this NFL world that actually have high praises for Drew Petzing. And I know Drew Petzing was was getting thrown into the fire this last offseason, where at least it's still the offseason, but in the offseason, people were like, oh man, this guy's not going to cut it, man. He should get fired. No, he shouldn't have got fired. And the people that were blaming Drew Petzing for the woes of the Arizona Cardinals solely on him are absolutely wrong. Everything was a fault as to why the Arizona Cardinals offensively went wrong, right? Everything. Everything offensively. It's not just that. And that's why I said if you did fire him, you're scapegoating this Arizona Cardinals offense, because it was everything. Like, look back at the tape. Look back. There was a lot of different yuckiness that happened, a lot of miscommunications that are happening with the wide receiver and quarterback, a lot of things that it's not the fault of the the offensive coordinator. The players need to execute what's going on. So I'm kind of glad that Drew Petzing didn't get the axe, because that really would have felt like a scapegoat for the Cardinals. But like I said, if you're going to run it back one more time. Let's see what Drew Petzing can do. He's learning on the job as well. This is his first offensive coordinator position as well, just like Nick Rallis. But of course, when you got the weapons that you do on the offensive side of the ball, because the offense was supposed to be the bright spot in 2024, not the defense. And I'm not going to come out here and say the defense was a bright spot, but they were a lot more consistent than the offense was. You got a lot of eyes looking your way. So Drew Petzing, you got a big task ahead of you. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the hot seat in 2025. I'm just saying that it made sense that he was brought back into 2025 to say, okay, let's run it back one more time, because if you're looking at the records, they did improve from the 4 wins to the 8 wins, and hopefully double digits moving forward, at least fingers crossed. So Jacoby Brissett coming in here, not just randomly. He's got ties. It seems like they reached out to him before and years prior to try to bring him into this Arizona Cardinal locker room to be potentially a backup quarterback, whatever the situation might be. But right now with the Arizona Cardinals, why did they go after a backup quarterback in free agency? It's the smart move. It's the right move. It's the move that the Arizona Cardinals absolutely need to do, because you can't ignore the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. You can't, right? So here's the next question, right? Can the Arizona Cardinals still draft a quarterback in the 2025 NFL draft, right? Because to me, it was either or. Either you get a savvy veteran like Jacoby Brissett, in free agency, or you draft somebody and try to develop them, right? Now, can the Arizona Cardinals still draft somebody in the 2025 NFL draft? I would be shocked if they do. I would be shocked if they do. Jacoby Brissett, I believe, signed a 2-year deal with the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. Now, obviously, 2 years, there probably is some sort of out in 2026 if they don't want to bring him back, right? Or there might be some dead hit, if they just decide to move off of him, right? Can the Cardinals still draft somebody? I mean, they still can. I mean, this is not a big quarterback NFL draft class. It isn't, right? The best prospect right now is Cam Ward, right? Best prospect right now is Cam Ward, and then Shedeur Sanders, and then Jackson Dart, right? Now, whether you have Jackson Dart over Shedeur, that's opinions that we're all going to differ from, right? But then there's a big drop off, right? With Milroe, and then you got Howard, and then you got McCord, and then you got all these other guys that the Cardinals could potentially look after in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, or the later rounds, if the Cardinals were to choose to do something like that, right? Bringing in Jacoby Brissett does kind of make it to where the Cardinals might not draft a quarterback. Now, if one of these guys fall undrafted, I would say, hey, maybe look their way and potentially go after him. But Jacoby Brissett fills in a big need, a huge need for the Cardinals at QB2, at least for the time that he's here, right? A guy that can win you a game or two if needed. If our current quarterback 1 is injured, right? He could definitely win you that. So do the Cardinals, or can the Cardinals draft a quarterback? I don't know, right? We haven't heard anything where anything's off the table. If they like somebody like a Will Howard in the 4th round, 5th round, and he's there, maybe they could still take a swing, right? I'm not mad at it. I think right now where the Cardinals are standing, anything's on the table. Anything's on the table. I think the Cardinals can go defensive line. I prefer defensive line myself. I would love the Cardinals to still address the trenches defensively. Offensively, still on the board as well, right? If you want to go edge, they want to go interior defensive lineman, if they want to go offensive line, that's all on the table for me. It really is, right? If the Cardinals want to throw something else out there and then go offensive weapon, I'm cool with that as well. I'm cool with that as well. I think the Cardinals right now, the 16th overall pick, we can go any which direction, right? So we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens here. We do got a few comments flooding in. Appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. Let me know how your guys' thoughts and what you feel about this whole topic of why do the Cardinals have to bring in a veteran to back up Kyler? Well, I mean, for multiple reasons, right? And it starts off with, can Kyler stay healthy, right? And having a backup quarterback that can win games and has won games in the NFL for years, it's not a bad thing to have. It's not a bad thing to have at all. Let's go with a couple comments here in the chat. We got Best Racing Clips. What's up, Best? He says the defense outplayed their talent level all year, but the holes started to show at the end of the year. That's why they went and got Sweat and Dalvin. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Arizona Cardinals defense 100% got better, specifically on the defensive line. Bringing in guys like that can actually add pressure on a consistent basis only helps this Arizona Cardinal defensive line. We have a lot of promise, but that's what we all been on, right? We've been on promise. Like BJ Ojulari, you get him in a second round pick on him, but he's never played, or at least consistently played, regular season for the Cardinals. He's always been hurt when the regular season came around. So it's very unfortunate, but that's kind of the proof of the pudding, right? Like that's what happens. And then you got Dante Stills, which is a late round pick. Love him. Then you got Zaven Collins, middle linebacker turned edge, right? Then you got Baron Browning, a guy that you got in the later part of the season last year in the trade deadline. So you got a lot of players with potential. The only really guy that I'm like, yeah, you got to play him a lot is Josh Sweat. It's the only really guy I have the confidence saying, okay, that's going to be our closer, right? But I mean, I'm not saying they're bad players, but it's just a lot of unknown when it comes down to it. But I agree. Dalvin Tomlinson and then bringing in Josh Sweat were huge moves for the Cardinals. Like massive upgrades. Absolutely massive upgrades. AZ Sports Hut, what's up? He says, if not, then Kyler Murray should not be the leader of this team. Cardinals aren't paying him all this money for not producing. Okay, so I think I'm missing a comment here because this, let's see here. K1 will have a higher contract. Okay, so I think my guy AZ Sports is having a lot of comments on here, and I don't know where it begins. So we're going to move on to the next comment here. Claymore says the buck stops with the head coach, not the QB. A lot of people having conversations here in the chat. We're just going to keep it rolling. We got Michael saying, JB will fit nice in this offense. The defense upgrades will get AZ another 3 to 4 wins. AZ should be in the playoffs. I mean, if we're building off of what we did in year 2024, right? And that's usually what it is when you're projecting to obviously continue to climb the ladder from the 4 wins to the 8 wins. You're hoping that double digits is the next thing for the Cardinals team, right? You're hoping so, right? So yeah, I mean, right now, I don't think really much anybody's even thinking about should the Cardinals even draft a quarterback. If they do, that would be absolutely crazy to me, but I wouldn't be mad at it. I really wouldn't. Like if the Cardinals use a 4th, 5th, 6th round and a quarterback that falls to them, like a Will Howard, I wouldn't be like a Kyle McCord. I wouldn't be mad at that at all, right? But of course, when you're talking about the first 2, 3 picks in the draft, a lot of people want to go trenches, and I'm cool with that as well. Randall, what's up, Randall? I'm hoping the Cards trade down a few spots from 16 and still get James Pierce Jr., an extra 3rd round pick to potentially bring in Scadaboo here. Oh, man. Randall's trying to keep that Scadaboo dream alive. I know there's some teams out there that would love to get Scadaboo as well. I understand Cardinal fans wanting to bring in Scadaboo here because of obviously the connection with ASU and what he did in the ASU offense and what he did in the playoffs. It's absolutely amazing. I agree. 110% I agree. I feel like if Scadaboo does become a member of the Cardinals, you're right. Exactly what you're saying here. You got to recoup another 3rd. You got to recoup something where if he falls to the 3rd or the 4th round, I think a lot of Cardinal fans would be like, okay, I'm confident with that. But right now with the amount of draft picks that the Cardinals have, I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening for multiple different reasons. Whether you say it's James Conner plus Trey Benson or whether you say he's not going to be there in the 3rd or 4th round, right? The Cardinals right now, if they can recoup another one, you want to throw another flyer out there? I mean, sure, why not? I don't hate it, but if you're hoping the Scadaboo falls to the 4th, man, that would be insane if he does. Because I know that the 49ers could potentially be a team that could be looking his way as well, which he's in our division, which would hurt and it would suck because in ASU, right, for Arizona, you don't want to see one of those guys, right, those legends coming out of ASU, playing for your division rival in the 49ers. And they just ended up trading one of the running backs. So it almost kind of makes sense where, okay, what are you going to run? You're going to run the offense with McCaffrey and then who, right? Is Garendo still on your roster? Maybe they do go after Scadaboo, right? So that's kind of one of those things where if the Cardinals don't get him, I just hope he doesn't land in the NFC West, which, because I just said that he's probably going to, right? Because I just said that he's probably going to. So, yeah, and that's kind of where I am as well. We had a couple more comments flooding in. We got Claymore in the chat. What's up, man? He says, how can you be a Cardinal fan if you're always talking SHIT about the quarterback? Take that crap elsewhere. I think maybe conversations happening in the chat. I don't even think it's about, or unless you're talking about me, then I would love clarification about this, Claymore. But yeah, no, to me specifically, I've been saying the Cardinals need to get a backup quarterback from the moment we got swept, right? And it's because I'm always going to be about trying to find some sort of, what's the word? Security, right? Contingency, right? That's kind of the way my mind always works. Like, I want to have some sort of contingency plan, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a perfect contingency plan for Jacoby Brissett to come in here. Absolutely. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals hit it out of the park with bringing in Jacoby Brissett in here. I think it's an amazing ad. I think the Cardinals did fantastic bringing him in. Claymore says, no, not you, Mike. Cool. No worries. I felt like it wasn't me, but it's okay. Believe it or not, Claymore, there's people that feel that comment that you said towards me. So I wanted to just address it. I know you weren't speaking to me directly, but there is some people out there that are always like, oh, I've been called racist. I've been called racist. Like, I love the Jacoby Brissett signing. Like, seriously, like, I've been called all sorts of different things out there. But yeah, no, I think it's a huge move that the Cardinals brought in a backup quarterback. And I love the fact that we're addressing these needs because it's a need. Believe it or not, it's a need. It's a need. Michael in the chat, what's up, man? He says, I truly believe that if Kyler Murray doesn't get AZ into the playoffs this year, AZ will, 100%. 100%. And usually, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I've been talking about this topic for probably since Jonathan Gannon has got here, right? Jonathan Gannon, whenever he talks about Kyler Murray, nothing but glowing remarks. But there's really no ties. There's no ties with Jonathan Gannon to Kyler. There really isn't. Kyler was drafted by the regime of Steve Keim, right? Now, whether Jonathan Gannon believes he's a top 15, top 17 quarterback in the league, I think we can all say, yeah, he definitely is, right? He's definitely middle of the line. Some might say top 12, some might say top 10, just really depending on where your ranking is. I personally don't care about rankings. Like, to me, I don't care about ranking where Kyler Murray is going to be. I just want him to win a freaking playoff game for the Cardinals. I just want him to stop, having this offense crash and burn. And I'm not saying it's all Kyler, but, he's a part of it, right? He's a part of the crashing and burning at the end of the season. So that's what I care about more. I don't care where my quarterback ranks. Just win us a freaking playoff game. Take us to the playoffs on a consistent basis. Give us a chance at being at the dance, right? That's all I care about, right? At the end of the day, if you want to rank and that's what makes you happier, cool. I mean, that's fine. That's not where my mind is anymore. At least not going into year 7 of Kyler anymore. I don't care about rankings. So it is what it is, right? But I do believe if there isn't a playoff push or another collapse happens, I tend to kind of believe what you're saying, Michael. I really do, right? There was already speculations. There was already talks about the Cardinals, Now, there were rumors, granted, but for the most part, I tend to believe this, too. I tend to believe this. Yep, definitely a conversation going on right now in the chat right now. So we'll allow you to continue to have that conversation. Let's go with Randall. He says, I've seen T-Mac fall a lot. If he's at 16, do we take him? It's a consideration. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's a consideration for sure. Now, of course, if you do go after a T-Mac, right? If you go after a wide receiver, to me specifically, I'm very high on Emeka Ibuka. I'm really high on him, but it probably won't happen. If T-Mac does fall, definitely a consideration. Will the Cardinals do it? I don't know, right? I don't know. But that just means that if the Cardinals go wide receiver, you got to go defensive line or trenches 2nd and 3rd round, right? You just got to kick the can and say, okay, well, who's going to be the best available in the second round, right? Whether it's going to be Princely, whether it's going to be Jack Sawyer, whether it's going to be any other guys you can get in the second round, or Landon Jackson, right? Maybe something like that. The Cardinals can get in the second round for edge or just defensive line. So, yeah, I mean, if T-Mac does fall, I think you got to at least consider it, right? Now, another player that, has kind of fallen when you're talking about it, players that were picked in the top 10 and then after the combine and now sitting a month away from the draft, people are now talking about Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan, that he might fall to the Cardinals. And then the Cardinals have met with him as well. So, there's a lot of possibilities. What happens within the top 1 to 15 is it can go any which way. The Cardinals can go do anything, and that's the crazy thing right now. That's the crazy thing. We do got holes. I don't think any of us can sit back and say, "Oh, we do." We're good here. Like the only position I really feel confident on the defensive side of the ball is probably the safety core with Jalen Thompson and Buddha and obviously Rabbit. That's the really only confidence that I got. I have confidence in the cornerback just because of the young potential that we have, but we can use an upgrade, right? We definitely can. Defensive line, we've upgraded, but we can use some more. Interior middle linebacker, we can use some upgrade, right? On the opposing side, wide receiver, yeah, bring another weapon if need be. If need be. RC3 says, "Hey Mike, did you get my draft?" I did. Yes, I absolutely did. We are going to be doing some mock drafts with channel members here, so make sure that if you are a channel member of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, make sure to get your mock drafts ready to go. Tag me in those, and we'll be able to maybe make a specific video or live stream looking at everybody's different mock drafts and seeing exactly how your mind process is working, because this is an exciting time, y'all. This is an exciting time for Arizona Cardinal fans and just the offseason in general, because we're a month away from the draft right now. A month away. And then when it comes down to this Thursday, we're 4 weeks away. So this Thursday, we're 4 weeks away from the NFL draft. Right now, we're a month away because obviously there's more days in the days in the month. There was 31 days in March. So yeah, no exciting times for real, man. I'm excited. Peter in the chat says Cardinals for life. Love to see it. Love to see it. Claymore says, "I don't think they need to draft another QB, at least not." Definitely not. No, for sure. 1 and 2, no, that's a no go for me right now. Absolutely, that's a no go for me right now. Yeah. Let's see what my guy AZ Sports that's saying. If K1 doesn't get a playoff win, there will be calls to trade him. They are already fed up and want to change. I'm willing to give another year. Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, whether you were on the boat of willing to provide another year or not, the Arizona Cardinals already made their decision, right? So it's almost like the Cardinals made their mind up already. Like they're going to roll with Kyler in the 2024, unless something else happens, right? Unless something else happens from here to the draft, some crazy thing happens. But right now, it seems like Kyler Murray will be the quarterback for the Cardinals right now. So whether you wanted that to happen in 2024 or 2025 or not, that's the decision that G and Monty and this front office is going with right now. And all you can do is, if you are a Cardinal fan, is support. That's all you can really do right now. So as of right now, continuing to talk about, what the Cardinals did so far, I'm cool with it, man. Why did the Arizona Cardinals send a backup quarterback? It's obvious why. Right? Crashing and burning at the end of the season, a quarterback competition. Have a solid QB number 2, a guy that can win you a game or two if needed. If Kyler Murray, needs some sort of time for injury, it's obvious why. And there's connection between Jacoby Brissett and Petsing. There's connection there. So multiple reasons as to why. So I'm not mad at it. I feel like it's a really, really good thing that the Cardinals did. Very smart that the Cardinals did. And there's something to be said about putting your money where your mouth is. There's something to be said about putting your money where your mouth is. And right now, Monty's doing that. So we'll see. Eddie in the chat says Brock Purdy was the last pick and has already has done more. Yeah, I mean, true. As a team, for a quarterback, for a team, yeah, I agree. Individual awards, which doesn't really get you, obviously didn't get us anywhere as a team, right? Kyler Murray has gotten, 2 Pro Bowls and then a Rookie of the Year, right? But, I mean, if you're looking at it as a team aspect, right, as a team standpoint, I do tend to agree that Brock Purdy has accomplished more as a team quarterback, compared to just Kyler Murray and the individual accolades that he's had. So, I can't disagree there. Peter in the chat says, I don't even focus on college football. I don't even know who we'll get. That's fair. I mean, well, even the people that do pay attention to college football, right? Even the people that love to do mock drafts, even the people that love to look at prospects, watch the combine, all those different things, they don't even know what the Cardinals are going to get. Like, I'm going to be real here. Nobody knows what the Cardinals are going to get because there's absolutely no way for you to predict what happens in a month from now. There's no way for you to predict it. There's 15 picks from when the Cardinals are on the clock to the start, or from the start of the draft to when the Cardinals are on the clock. There's no way to predict it. There's absolutely no way to predict it from that moment to that moment. So anything can happen. There can be 3 quarterbacks being taken the moment that the Cardinals are up. Jackson Dart can sneak into the top 10. You know, we've seen crazy things happen in the NFL draft. Crazy things happen. We've seen teams that are picking in the top 20s trade up to the teens, getting in front of the Cardinals, right? So nobody knows what to do. Like we're seeing things out there like the Cardinals have met with this guy, right? The Cardinals have met with that guy. The Cardinals can do this. The Cardinals can trade up. The Cardinals can do that. It's all speculations at this moment, right? But it's exciting speculations. It's things to talk about because we got a month away from the NFL draft. And although this roster will look different, it's going to look more different when these young, talented guys are going to come in here and potentially make a big change. So, Randall in the chat says, I'm just praying Marvin Harrison Jr. and K1 are on the same page this upcoming season, and we don't have balls overthrown. I agree, brother. I agree. This is one of the most frustrating things I've seen, man. One of the most frustrating things to see, especially when you're seeing Malik Neighbors putting up the numbers that he did with a subpar quarterback, especially when you're seeing Brian Thomas Jr. putting the numbers that he did with a subpar quarterback. Those are the things that are frustrating, right? Are frustrating because I still do think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have an amazing career in the NFL. Call me biased. That's fine, right? But I still think he's going to be a really solid wide receiver in the NFL. It's just, I don't like that. One of those things that were obviously magnified in 2024 was the fact that they didn't have a connection, and they probably still didn't have a connection when the season ended. So very frustrating for sure. Yeah, in the chat, I'd rather have a vet backup quarterback than a rookie. Fair. Well, Clayton Tune was going into his year 2 last year. No longer a rookie, but we all kind of know the stigma around him. But, I mean, is it still on the table for the Cardinals to draft a quarterback? I mean, I think anything's on the table. Is it a little less realistic now because of going after Jacoby Brissett? Yeah, I think it's a little less realistic. But, I mean, maybe there's a quarterback they like. Maybe there is a quarterback that they want to develop, right? We don't know at this very moment, right? It's all speculations. It's all speculations now. All right, let's take a couple more comments, and then we're going to be closing up shop. Appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. Let's take a couple more comments. I did make a video. If you guys didn't watch the video that I posted about probably about an hour and a half ago, my top 5 prospects, make sure you check that video out. Give some love over to it because we are talking about who could potentially fall to the 16th overall pick in the NFL draft. That video is already live on the YouTube channel. Kitty in the chat, what's up, Kitty? Saying Marvin Harrison Jr.'s drops and struggles to time the jump balls. You rewatch the film, he reacts either too early or too late. Yeah, I mean, well, it's on both, right? It's on both. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr., if you're looking at the tape, you're going to see a tale of 2 stories, right? You're going to see specific plays where he wasn't targeted when he was open. You're going to see specific plays where he did get the opportunity and missed, timed the jump, was not physical enough, maybe looked a little timid, maybe did not, beat out the guy that, was covering him. But you also do see the other side of the coin as well, where he has been open and Kyler Murray did not look his way, right? Or was already looking this side of the field because his progression didn't think just to let me give it one more second to see if Marvin's going to become available, right? I mean, there's also been some error balls that were thrown from Kyler Murray's behalf. So I think there's two sides of the coin where Marvin can get better, but there also needs to be some better decision making happening for the connection to be better, right? I think it's on both of them, honestly. I think it's on both. Claymore Jones says it's, yep, 100% agree. One more comment, and we're going to be closing up shop. AZ Sports Hut, Marvin Harrison Jr. was a rookie. I think he'll be fine. Facts. 100%. 100% AZ, he's a rookie. And that's the thing, too. It's probably because of him coming in with the title in the tag of generational talent and being the fact that who his dad was. There's a lot of people that were expecting 1,300, 1,200, 1,400 yards, right? A lot of people were expecting that. And that's fine to have that expectations. But you also can't forget, like, we can't put all the blame on a rookie when we got at that time, year 6 quarterback that everything was to fault. Everything was to blame. And yeah, of course, Drew Petzing and throw Petzing in there as well in terms of having some sort of fault. Everything, man. Don't point the finger, because guess what? You point the finger, you got four coming right back at you, right? 4 coming right back at you. So everybody needs to get better. But I agree with the original comment. I hope we don't see that miscommunication, because that was very, very brutal to see. Very brutal to see. Petsy needs to get better. K1 needs to get better. Marvin needs to get better. The offense needs to get better, right? Throw it all. Throw it all up on there, man. I don't blame a lot on K1 because he knows how to feed the ball. He does it to Trey, and he did it with DeAndre Hopkins. So I know Well, watch. If you don't have time, if you have time, there is a Kurt Warner breakdown. And I don't break down film because I'm not going to act like I know football to the level of what Kurt Warner knows it. So if there is any sort of reference that you would need, look at the Kurt Warner breakdown of he did one specific plays and he showed that there is plays to be made, right? Now, whether you're looking one way or you're looking the other, that's just something that you need to develop as a quarterback to either stay on the side of the, for a developing route or knowing that your rookie wide receiver is not as physical as you would like him. Maybe give him a little bit more of a split second longer to look his way and then toss it that way. Or, what we're seeing is a lot of kind of happy feet, right? Happy feet. So I don't know. That's cool that, you're backing your quarterback 110%, but just look at the breakdown. Look at that breakdown from Kurt Warner. It's very, very eye-appealing, and it's very not eye-appealing. It's very eye-opening. Eye-opening is the best word to describe it. So we are going to be closing up shop right here, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to make this live stream because there was a lot of people, man. A lot of people asking, why did the Cardinals go after a quarterback? Now, whether, whatever side of the coin you are on, right? Whether it's, Kyler Murray doesn't need this or this and that. That's why we made this video here today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we are just waiting for the NFL draft at this very moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just joining here, appreciate you. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button on your way out. Subscribe over to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals.